Hey Bookers, and welcome to the Basic Reports Training Financials. This lesson is intended for admins or those with reporting access enabled for their Booker logins. In this training, we'll cover 4 of the most commonly used reports: the dashboard, sales by day, payroll, and staff sales reports. These reports have to do with your business's finances as well as with determining employee payroll. Let's begin with the dashboard. But first, you'll need to log in. To access Booker, go to booker.com, click on Login in the top right corner, and on this page, enter in your account name, username, and password, and then select Login. Once logging in, you should land on the location info of your system settings. To get to the reports, you have to click on the Reports tab here at the top. This tab will be visible only to administrators or those with reporting access enabled for their Booker logins. If you don't have reporting access, your admin will be able to grant that to you. When you first click on the Reports tab, you will see that Booker has quite a few reports, categorized into different sections. The dashboard is located under the Sales section. Located next to most reports is a help bubble that you can click on. This will provide you more details and also a link to the Help Center about that particular report. Next, click on the report that you want to view. The very first thing you'll have to do is select a date range. You can pick from our list here or customize your own by selecting Select Dates. For this example, I'll select last week. Now before we view the report, notice here at the top that this report has more than one page, as most will. Using these arrows, you'll be able to navigate between the pages. In addition, you can also export most of the reports. To do this, click on the floppy disk icon here and choose from one of the 7 different formats. Excel tends to be the most popular as customers can delete any columns or rows that aren't relevant, as well as make changes and edits. Let's view the dashboard report now. This report will show you a snapshot of how your business is doing. Though it shows a lot of different information, it only shows very basic information and is not as detailed as other reports. Nonetheless, it is very useful to see a general overview of your business. The dashboard is split up into a couple of different segments. Here to the left, there is an Appointments section displaying all paid and complete, canceled or no-showed, and unpaid appointments in this date range. Right below, you'll see how appointments were booked, whether internally or online. Here you can also see the number of orders closed in this date range and the revenue gained from them. Average ticket is listed here, as well as the number of unpaid appointments in this date range. If you did indeed have some unpaid appointments listed, the potential revenue you'd receive if they were closed out is listed here. Remaining balance shows you the amount left to be paid for appointments that have partial deposits in them. On the bottom left, there is a brief customer retention section. On the right-hand side, you'll be able to see a breakdown of your service and retail sales. This section will also display any tips, taxes, deposits, and refunds. Down below, note the Package Sales section. This section is related to the Service and Retail Sales section above it and shows how many packages you sold in this date range. You should not add these 2 amounts together as the packages amount is already included in the total for the section above. As you scroll down, you'll see the payments taken in during this date range, as well as any deposits or refunds. There will also be a separate section for any prepaid payments that were redeemed. This includes gift cards, gift certificates, and series. Any custom payment types you create for yourself will be denoted with an asterisk by their names. If you wanted to filter any of these columns in Booker in ascending or descending order, you can do this by clicking on the up and downward facing arrows on each column. As you continue down, you'll see a list of the services that were performed along with the revenue and any refunds. As we continue on to page 2, it will continue to list the services, then any products sold, as well as any memberships, series, and packages. Next is the Sales by Day report. This is Booker's most comprehensive financial report and should be used when accounting for your business's money. To access this report, click on the Reports tab to go back to the list. Sales by Day is found under the Sales section. I'm going to run this report for last week. Here you'll see all the different days last week that I had orders. It will show how many orders and then break up the revenue into the appropriate category. There will also be an adjustment column. This includes any specials or price overrides that were given. Right next to that, you'll see the service charge and gross sales columns. The prepaid column represents any prepaid payments that were redeemed. To the far right, you'll have 2 refund columns: net sales, taxes, tips, and then net sales plus tax. Now, if you see anything blue in a report, it means you can click on that item to show more details. Let's click on one of the days. This has all the same exact information as the simple view, except it is broken down into individual order numbers. If we wanted to see the actual invoice of these orders, all we'd have to do is click the order number. To the far right, we'll see 2 new columns that weren't there in the simple view. A column that shows the cash register that closed the order, and the CC used column, which shows the credit card information if applicable. Note that the system can only capture and pull this information if you have integrated merchant processing with Booker. Let's back out to the main page. Notice here at the top, you have the option to view this report in a detailed view. Let's go ahead and click that. Here in the detailed view, the first columns will be the same as the ones in the simple view. However, if you scroll all the way to the right, the columns in gray are the ones that were not included in the simple view. Here in the detailed view, you can see what payment types were taken in, and if you have different tax rates, there will be a separate column for each. Lastly, your premiums and discounts will be broken up by services, retail, gift certificates, memberships, and tips. Next is the Payroll Report. Once you've set up your employees' profiles and compensation structures, you can see how much they've earned. This report can be found under the Employee Staff section. I'll run it for last week. Each employee is listed, along with their group if they're in one, their number of dependents, and how many hours they worked during this date range. It also shows the number of services, products, and classes they performed, along with the compensation earned from doing each. Tips are on the far right, along with total earnings. If you are questioning how a staff member's pay was calculated, simply click on their name here. So let's click on Jenny Chow's name to get a more detailed report. This will isolate her information and provide us the option to view her information in a simple or detailed view. I'll go ahead and select the detailed view. Here it tells us exactly how she is set up to be paid: 50% of service sales and 20% of product sales. To the right, any tips that she has received will be listed along with the corresponding order number. As we scroll down, it will list all the services she's performed along with the compensation set for her. As we continue on, it will display any classes she may have taught and then any products that she sold, along with her compensation that has been entered in her employee profile. At the very bottom, you'll see her total earnings. This report does not calculate refunds into the totals. As a reminder, you can customize the date range by using this pick list and selecting Select Dates. So if you run payroll for 2 weeks, you can make that selection. The staff sales report is the last report we will cover in this lesson. It's a very important report because it organizes your sales information based on the employee who sold or performed the service or product. To get to the staff sales report, look under the Employee Staff section of the Reports tab. I'll run it for a date range. Just like with the payroll report, we can see a list of the employees and their groups, but instead of listing how much they got compensated, this report simply shows how much total sales were attributed to them. These amounts that are listed are after discounts and adjustments. Tips are shown here. The total staff column is the total of all services, products, prepaids, and memberships sold in this date range, as well as any listed product commission, tax, and punched time if these employees use it. This report also gives us the detailed view option. If we click on it, we'll be able to filter out the sales by service, products, prepaids, or memberships. Below you'll see any unassigned sales. These are sales that no one received credit for, but if someone was supposed to, you can always click on the order number and assign an employee from there. After the unassigned sales, you'll start seeing sales separated by staff member. Here are all the services and products Jenny performed or sold. To the far right, we can see product commission, if applicable, and technician cost, which is the commission made on the line item. Product cost is listed here as well. This is any back bar cost you may have associated with a service. The total cost column is the total cost to you, the business, in order to facilitate the sale. This includes any staff compensation and back bar cost. The last column will display any refunds. On the very bottom of each staff member, there will be totals for each column. This report does not calculate refunds into the totals. Today we learned about Booker's 4 most commonly used reports and how they can help you run your business and keep track of finances. If you have any questions about reports, please feel free to visit the Booker Help Center. This is the most valuable resource available to you as you're using the system, and you can locate this in your own account by coming to the upper right corner, clicking on the Help and Training link, and from there, select Help Center. Once there, you can search by keywords, browse through different topics, or watch training videos 24/7. Thanks for watching!